everything will be okay. So now you can go further.
Okay, so today's topic is the disease as a teacher. So, how we see disease, all about what we study in homeopathy is everything is about the perspective, right? If you have the right perspective towards life, you are healthy, right? So, one needs to have a perspective towards the disease also. So, what is disease? How we see disease as as Yamini has also said that what is dis ease? It is not being in ease. And what is ease? Ease is when we just flow with life. We just are happy about being who we are, and we just flow in life. So when we see, like when patients do come to us and we see the bigger picture, like what has made them to come to us, the person doesn't come to us on very first day. Like he just keeps on prolonging. He, like if you have cough, so he keeps on prolonging, then he may have his home remedies. Normally in India we have many home remedies for cough. So it is only when his ease is affected to the level that he is not able to flow with his regular routine, he comes to us. So what is this ease, like if we see beyond, we see the bigger perspective. When we are not able to live our lives and function as who we are not able to function in different aspects of our lives. So what I have identified is, whatever I have seen is that human life has four pillars. One is relationships, one is finances, one is physical health, one is spirituality. So when there is a block in either of these aspects, then you are stuck in your way of being, and then there is disease, then there is dis-ease. So we have to identify when a person comes to us, as Yamini also talked about the case takings, we just see that where he's stuck in life, like if there is migraine, then the question we ask is, what how are you affected with this migraine? In what aspects of your being this migraine is affecting you? Then someone may say that, like because of this migraine I'm not able to study. So this is the point we catch during the case taking, how it is affecting, how this disease is affecting the person. Sometimes a person is a party lover, and the like he takes too much of alcohol, so he will say this puking and this alcohol is affecting, the way I party. So then we understand, what is the inner drive of this person. So this is how we take the case deeper. As you know that in homeopathy we have to take the case to the extent, to the level, to the depth, where we try and understand who this person is. And so this we have to see the intricate relationship between who this person is and how he's affected by this disease. And this is where his block lies. Like for example, if a child is suffering from fever and he has fever every time he is going for examinations, we understand that there is a block in this person. And when we take the case deeper, we see that there is some fear, there is some problem at the level of his studies, that he's not able to study, he doesn't have that concentration. And that is where the disease comes as a gift, so that he can tell his parents that I have this fever, I have this headache, I have this stomach ache, and hence I'll not go to school. So what we see is, in the bigger perspective, that this ease, it somehow facilitates your way of being, because you're not able to go out and prepare and give the examination. So this is how we see the intricate relationship between your ease, your dis-ease, and the lesson you have to learn. So in this case, in homeopathy, what we do, we try to help him where he's stuck with his studies. Is there a problem in concentration, or is his driving force different, or is he just thinking about a friend who is playing outside while he's studying? So these are the things we take deeper and we understand the person. So this being where we are in the flow, where one is stuck, where one person is stuck and he's not able to move, that is a point where you will get disease. So one lesson which we need to understand as doctors and also human beings as persons, that whenever we are diseased we have to take a step back and see ourselves as a bigger picture, because healing is nothing other than being aware of who you are, being aware of where you are stuck, of being aware of your own potential, of being aware of your own weaknesses and the lessons you have to learn. So, how we take a case is we try to see who this person is, who this being is, at the level of emotions, at the level of intellect, at the level of fears, at the level of fantasies, aspiration, the movies he sees, the books he understands, books he reads, and the dreams he has. Right? So, the dreams he has in waking reality and his sleeping reality. So, this is how we study a person on the whole. And what we see when we have studied homeopathy to the level beyond the symptoms, what we are trying to do nowadays is we are trying to see homeopathy as a system rather than symptoms. Initially, when we started with Materia Medica, when we were students, we were just studying those symptoms which we ultimately confounded, and we were not able to pick the red line symptoms as our masters could do. So gradually our study went beyond the symptoms, and now we are trying to come out to systems. So now when we have come to systems, the study of homeopathy from a systematic approach, what we see is, that something very peculiar, you can say, is like we used to study in Allen keynotes, we had those red line symptoms. But now what we do, we see a red line through his whole aspect of his being. So it is not only the symptoms which show the pattern, it is a person in its deepest expressions is seen as expressing a pattern. And now we are working on these patterns. So what we try to see in his emotions, his intellects, his fears, his fantasies, the books he reads, the dreams he has, the aspiration he's having, we see a pattern. So these patterns, now we have to work on these patterns. That is what is the scope of homeopathy. We can help the person to release these patterns. Because normally at the intellectual level, we do understand where we are at fault, what mistakes we are doing, what needs to be corrected. But what happens is when we are sometimes not aware, most of the times we are just living our lives in a trance, we just fall apart from that awareness, and we fall in our own, again, the pattern, the one we are just looped in the same pattern again. So what happens is, we have seen people, patients coming to us, saying, why me, because it is that. And you also see that it is the exact point where he lands and he's not able to go. So this point which repeats again and again in one person's life, we see it in childhood or in his dreams or in his fantasies, we see there is one peculiar point, and that is where he needs to learn that lesson. And that is how we need to grow. So we have to see disease as a teacher, and we have to see disease is here to make us grow. Like in Prachi's case, what we saw, that he was not able to express and the energy was stuck in the throat chakra. So that is what we see. The lesson of that person is to learn to express his truth without getting scared and with love. Sometimes we see thyroid patients, they either don't speak their truth, or they speak their truth bitterly, or they speak their truth very harshly. So the lesson of a person who is seeing, who is having this thyroid problem, is to express his truth, to express his authenticity with love. So this is one correction which is needed when a person is suffering from thyroid problems. So this is how we need to learn the patterns. We need to see the patterns, and this is how we have to heal. So now, as somebody just mentioned, that uh, why we are not able to heal ourselves, like why we do understand so many things, but why we are all suffering. This is because where are the problems originating from, right? So these problems, these are originating from the other song. Each one of us have one pattern which is resonating with something in nature, with the pattern of something in nature. Like when we give a reptilian remedy, when we give snake, it means our energy pattern is resonating something in nature which is similar to a reptilian energy. And that is where we give a reptilian energy and a quantum collapse occurs. And then there is healing which occurs. So, this, when we see a case, when we take a case, we see that the human song is intertwined with the other song. This other song is something which is to be healed. Also, this is something which is to be aware of, because this other song is our strength. At the same time, this is our limitation. So, this, when we are aware of something in nature, when we are aware of a pattern, this awareness is created by the remedy which we take. We are aware of our own patterns, and then we start behaving as if we control this pattern rather than being controlled by the pattern itself. And that is what is growth. Like I always love to tell my students that, like we go to 5 stars, there is a background music when we go to a 5 stars, right? When we go to 5 stars, and that music is, it's so fine and melodious that I can choose to talk to somebody or I can choose to listen to that music. But when you're not healthy, when you're not at ease, so when we are in a five star, we are at ease with that music because we can choose to listen to that music, or we can just continue to talk and have that we can have our dinner. But most of other times, there are places like, especially in India, when we have wedding receptions, or when we go to some dhabas, they are like roadside highway restaurants. The music is so loud. In receptions, also in wedding reception, the music is so loud that practically you just want to close your ears and you just want to eat, or you are not able to talk also to somebody. So this is where the other song, this is the other song speaking so loudly that it spoils your ears. So this is the fine tuning of that energy which is within you. If it is loud enough, it is disrupting your ease, but we just try to loosen up. We just try to dim it off so that we can choose to listen or not, right? So this is how we work on patterns with homeopathy. So, what lesson? Sometimes, in cases when I'm not able to understand the pattern, I just sit back and ask myself, what is the lesson this person needs to learn? Why is he suffering so much? What is he denying? What is he not ready to learn? So, this gives me a clue that the remedy is here. So, it is also important to pinpoint that particular lesson which the person needs to learn. So this is one approach how you have to proceed in your cases, and this is how we treat the patients holistically. So just I'll give you one example of a case in very short, that I had a patient. So this is a lady of 42 years, and she's stuck. She says, I'm stuck in life. This was the word she used. I am stuck in life. There is no joy in my life. She had issues in relationships. She had two failed marriages, and she landed up in divorce in both of them. In India, it is very now. Although nowadays it's the divorce rate is growing up, but this lady, the age she belongs to, divorces were practically very uncommon that time. So she is now staying with her parents. She has a son of 16 years old. She doesn't go along well with her sister. She has violent anger. She says, I have that violent anger within me, especially when she is not given importance and her sister is given importance. She explains an incident where she fought with a neighbor who called her maid to help her with baking. In India, we have domestic helps. So what happened is one day her neighbor called her maid for baking some cakes. So she just called in the middle of the afternoon. She called her neighbor that how can you call my maid without asking me? So the neighbor said very mildly that I did ask your mother. So she said next time you ask me, you know this. She had this kind of arrogant face. Next time you ask me, you better ask me. Don't ask my mother. So this was kind of her pattern that when her sister was taking advice, what kind of birthday gift we should do, give, what kind of food we should prepare in some party. So she always wanted that importance. She starts fighting with her mother on trivial issues. She says, I start arguing with everyone. I fight with my parents. They're 80 plus. She says, Doctor, can you believe I'm fighting with my father who's 80 plus? Do you think I should be doing that? She says, I know that someday I will not get time to resolve with things with my parents because they are 80 plus. But she says, I am not able to forgive my parents. They got me married to a wrong person. I couldn't marry a person whom I liked. So now she was in a relationship with a person, but she did not get that permission to marry that person from her parents because he did not belong to the same caste. So now, after two divorces, again, that person, her ex boyfriend, also his wife has also expired. So after two marriages, she's back to that person and she's having a relationship with the same boyfriend, but the issue remains the same. She is still waiting for the permission of her parents to marry this guy. Can you imagine? After 18 years, also, she's still seeking that permission. So, this is where you see that she is looped in. She could have taken her decision at that time itself that I love this person and I can go on and marry him. But after two divorces, after two marriages in which the groom was selected by the parents, again she is waiting and looking like a child for her mother to give her the permission. So this is what I'm saying is that she needs to grow. This is the point where she needs to grow. She needs to understand that she can go ahead and take the decision of marrying that guy instead of going into two failed marriages and still be blaming her parents for not giving the permission. So we see these spirals, the same cycle is being repeated in her life. So now how this remedy helps her? So her marriage, in the first marriage was her husband was pervert. In second marriage again, this person he was suffering from multiple sclerosis. So in both the relationships, she felt that she was made to do clean their shit. So she was not comfortable because one was a sexual pervert and the other was the multiple sclerosis person. So now recent there was an incident. She says it was my sister's birthday. We were all sitting at a table and there were guests around, and her sister-in-laws in-laws, they did not eat non-veg. We have a particular community which is very rigid about their what they eat and what they don't eat. So they don't like to prefer to sit also on the table where non-veg is served. But this lady she created a scene on that table that I want non-veg and I want it to be served here in this place. She says, why did I create? And later she realized that it was my sister's 50th birthday. I could have just taken my plate of non-veg and sat on other chair. Why did I create a scene? So now here she says, I just snapped at her and there was a gesture. So when I asked, what did you made? What was the gesture? She says, just like I wanted to kill my sister at that place. I just took my plate and I sat on her other plate and I created a scene. Then she says, I was introspecting that time while sitting on the table also. Why did I do this thing? Just for taste? I could have anytime ordered a non-veg and I could have sat together. But why did I spoil that whole incident, whole birthday? The whole ambience was there. So she says, why did I want to this? She says, tr. And then I told her to please complete the word. What were you trying to say? She says, I was trying, I try to She says what I do is I just snap out and then I become mild. So I was trying to trap somebody with my smile. It is not good to trap anyone. I asked, what is this experience of a trap? She says, like, we meet people. So we embrace each other. So what I do is, like I embrace somebody so tightly that he's not able to breathe. So she says, on outwardly, I'm showing that I'm loving you, I'm welcoming you, I'm embracing you, but inside, I know I want to trap you and I want to embrace you so tightly that you grasp for that. So now you can see some pattern is emerging at the other song. Her body is trying to say something. There is a gesture, there is an energy pattern. So when we go deeper in the cases, we see energy patterns. So now she says, I was jealous of my sister. My birthday has never been celebrated like that because my husbands were never there, like that ways. And my sister's husband, he takes care of her. Nobody has celebrated my birthday. I never get my due importance. So she says, I just wanted to hurt my sister, but it serves her right. She deserves that. So this is how she's talking that animal language of tit and tat, of being competitive, of being jealous, and of having that quick anger, of just snapping it out. So this is how we can see a competitive person who is not giving her due. She's so jealous. She's not giving that importance. She's always comparing herself with her sister. I liked it and that. Although I repent and realize I regret. She says, I can't digest much. I can't digest things of this. I puke out everything. When I'm angry, I just puke out everything to my father. She says, but I know I shouldn't be speaking to my father because he may not wake up.
Recording stopped.
She says, he may not be alive